Welcome to Hochoka Podcast.
What do Star Trek, the Chicago White Sox, and social activist Dorothy Day have in common? We're about to find out. Hello, Mitaki AP. Welcome to Hochoka here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian School's campus. I'm Scott Wooster.
And I'm Randy Johnson. I am in the 8th grade. And Scott and I are today's Hochoka hosts.
We are talking with Father Stephen Huffstetter, SCJ. He's a familiar face at St. Joseph's, having spent 22 years in South Dakota, 13 in parish work, and 9 as chaplain and director of St. Joseph's Indian School. He's freshly returned from Rome, where he has been serving as Vicar General of the Priests of the Sacred Heart since 2015. We are incredibly grateful that he is joining us today to tape a couple of podcasts with us.
Father Steve, a warm welcome, and tell me, what do Star Trek and the Chicago White Sox and Dorothy Day have in common?
There are three things I'm really passionate about. With the Chicago White Sox, I'm a big baseball fan, and this year we had the worst record in Major League history.
They did at that.
They did, but I'm still loyal. I think it describes kind of who I am, but a lot of times with baseball, I have a lot of memories of being with people at games and talking, and lots of memories of family. My father, my grandfathers are both big fans. All my family is. With Star Trek, when I was in junior high school, the show was already in reruns, and it was on after school every day, and I'd go home and watch it. And what I really liked about it was that it had the phrase "to boldly go," where no one has gone before, to encounter new cultures, and I think it gave me an appreciation for new things that are different, new cultures, but also that the cultures could work together. There didn't have to be war, but there could be cooperation. With Dorothy Day, she's someone that I became acquainted with much later in my life. When I was in formation, I read a lot of what she wrote, and she was passionate about giving direct service to the poor, but she was also somebody who tried to look at what caused people to be poor and to really try to work at changing the system to help meet the needs of people. And I had a chance to work for 2 months in a Catholic worker community in Los Angeles. I learned a lot about community life, people living together that weren't in religious life, but that helped me to understand religious life better. But also I worked every day in a soup kitchen that fed hundreds of people every day. And I worked with migrant children on the playground and had a chance to do some hospitality for some refugees. So it was a great experience. It showed me about direct service and also about trying to change unjust systems.
So, okay, we talked a little bit ahead of time, and I was trying to wrap my mind around what those three things had in common, and I think I understand that they drive your passion, they fuel what you do, and they fuel your life's work, which is pretty cool. I'm going to take one step back, and I want to go back to Randy here, Randy Johnson, just so our audience knows, as an 8th grader here, she's a great kid. She's been here for how many years, Randy?
This year's going to be my 3rd year.
This is your 3rd year here.
I came in 6th grade.
In 6th grade, and I was your guidance teacher in 7th grade, and we had an absolute blast in the 7th grade guidance class, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and so I really wanted Randy to be on this show because she's a big personality, and Father Steve talks about passion for life, and Randy's got a lot of passion for life, so I'm excited to have you here, Randy. Father Steve and I have known each other for probably 15, 20 years, I would guess.
Yeah.
I would say. And so I know him really well, and it's great to see you again back from Rome. And, you showed up a couple weeks ago and brought smiles to a lot of faces around here. But for our audience, who might not know you as well, Randy wants to play a game with you that's called Rapid Fire, where she's going to hit you with some questions, and let's go.
Here's how it works. Could you respond to my prompts in a matter of time with no lengthy explanations?
I'll try. I get kind of wordy sometimes, though.
What's your best food?
Pizza, both thin crust, round oven baked, wood fire baked, and Chicago deep dish.
Best music?
Folk music.
That's nice. Best book?
Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Secret indulgence Indulgence.
Yeah.
My family teases me. I make lists of all kinds of different things. I have lots of lists.
3 words that describe you.
Curious, gentle, and hopeful.
Best advice you ever received.
There was a Hall of Fame basketball coach named John Wooden from Indiana. He was famous at UCLA. But he said, things work out the best for those who make the best of the way things work out.
Okay. Best advice you ever gave.
Make an effort to learn and remember people's names because it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah. Favorite Old Testament prophet.
I like Micah, and he says there's 3 things that God asks of us: to act justly, to love tenderly, and to walk humbly.
Favorite book of the Bible.
The Psalms, because in religious life we use those a lot for prayer every day.
Favorite spot in Rome.
There's a park nearby our house called the Viadori Pamphili Park.
If you could be any place, it would be.
My favorite place is Yellowstone National Park.
Oh, that's cool. Being at St. Joe's is.
It's being home.
You could take a little longer, just a little, with this one. If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Boy, be a lot of people. I'd like to have a big banquet with lots of people. Maybe I should say Jesus or Mary, but I'm going to say St. Joseph because, I'd probably be more relaxed around him. I feel more nervous around Jesus or Mary. And, I could ask him, what was Jesus like growing up? And, what was Mary like? And I think I'd feel comfortable with old St. Joseph.
So, great job. Nice job with the rapid fire. And some of those things I knew. I like all your answers. I guess I didn't know that John Wooden came from Indiana.
Yep.
You said Indiana. I was going to correct you, and you said, well, that he was at UCLA. I didn't realize he was from there. And then the other thing, the best book, D. Brown's Burying My Heart at Wounded Knee, same for me. Comprehensively, it just gave that picture of what happened in this country, and I think it was so just does it in a way that means so much to me. So
yeah, there's a lot about Native history that's not really told in our educational system. And when I came out here and wanted to learn more about the reality, that was one of the first books I read, and it's a life-changing thing.
It really is. Yep, yeah. I agree.
Now let's go a little deeper. We'd like to hear, first of all, what your family was like and what you wanted to be when you were my age.
Okay. I grew up in northern Indiana, a small town about 2,000, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids. We were all kind of born really close. There's only 6.5 years difference between us. So we did all kinds of stuff together growing up. We watched the same TV shows, we played sports together, we played board games together, all that kind of stuff. When I was 2 years old, I had 3 younger sisters because there was twins in there. So we were a handful. But my mom and dad were both teachers. And one thing about our house that's different, my uncle bought a refrigerator boxcar, a train car, and he parked it on a foundation. And that was our house for quite a few years when I first lived. So it was a little bit smaller than a trailer. So we were pretty crowded in there. But later on when I got to high school, we went to a different house.
So you grew up there, northern Indiana, close-knit family, and at some point something struck you that this was the life that you wanted to lead, that this was the vocation that you chose. Was there an aha moment or a series of events that led to it? That's the first part. And second part is, how did the SCJ piece of this fit in?
When I grew up, I went to Catholic grade school to 6th grade. Then I went to the public school for junior high. But we didn't have a Catholic high school in town. And just 10 miles away was a place called Divine Heart Seminary that the priest of the Sacred Heart ran. And they had a day student program. most of the guys lived there, but there was 5 guys from our town that drove back and forth every day to take classes there. And my dad thought that at that school I could get a lot better education than I would at the public school. So he said, why don't you try it for a year, and if you like it, fine. So I went there, and what was really unique was that we had guys from all over the country that were there. We had guys from North Carolina and California and Detroit and St. Louis and all over, and people from different cultures too. So it was really interesting. And I didn't go there with the idea of being a priest. You asked me about, what I wanted to be when I was your age.
Yeah.
My hero on TV was a lawyer named Perry Mason. He never lost a case, and he always kind of helped to find the guilty and free the innocent. I wanted to be a lawyer. So, but anyway, while I was there, I started to see the work that the priests and brothers at the school did. I thought, hey, maybe this might be for me. When growing up in Indiana, it's kind of like the res in that basketball is like the sport, and everybody plays it. And so that was so important to me. And my senior year, halfway through the basketball season, I got mononucleosis, and so I had no exercise for 6 weeks. And boy, for a high school teenager that plays basketball, that's the worst news you can ever get. And I was in bed for 2 weeks, and I had a lot of time just to think about what I want to do with my life. And at that point, before that, I was really thinking about going to Indiana University and studying law, but just having time to think. And then the chaplain would bring me communion every day and pray with me, and that was kind of maybe the aha moment that I said, maybe this might be for me. And so at that point, I decided I would go to the study with the Priests of the Sacred Heart in Chicago, in the Chicago program, when I graduated.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. And your parents were public school teachers? They had nothing to do with the seminary?
No, my dad taught junior high English, and my mom taught 3rd grade.
So we lost a potential NBA player and a potential lawyer, but we gained something so much more. And I might add to our audience too that you did in a staff student game here at St. Joe's hit a half court shot, right? Yeah. To win Gatorades for the entire school one night. Yeah, so we had
the crowd went wild.
They did go wild. Yeah, that was a big moment here at St. Joe's. So you gained a lot more by that mononucleosis. It was the gift that they kept giving somehow. So Randy, you have another question.
Oh yes. In the intro, Scott said you have been in Rome as the Vicar General of the Priests of the Sacred Heart. I have so many questions. What is the Vicar General?
The Vicar General would be like the vice chairman of the tribe in some ways. The SCJs have about 2,100 priests and brothers throughout the world, and every 6 years we elect a council. And so I was one of the counselors, and then I served as the vice chairman.
Oh, yeah. Did you eat a lot of pizza?
Oh, yes. We had every Saturday night we had pizza in the house. And then when I went out into Rome itself, I had to try a lot of different pizzerias. And one interesting thing with the pizza in Rome, besides the round ones that you get, if you want a slice of pizza, they cook it in like rectangular pans, and you show them how much you want, and they take scissors and they cut it and they measure it by the gram, and that's how they sell it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you speak Italian?
Assolutamente. Parlo italiano. In our house in Rome, we had guys from about 15 different countries, and so Italian was our common language, and we prayed in Italian, and so we had to learn.
Wow.
That's cool. Was it all work and no play?
Of course. No, I had plenty of time, and my favorite thing to do in my free time was just to explore the city of Rome. There's so many neat historical places, and so many incredible churches, and just neat neighborhoods and parks.
That's cool. What does St. Joe's have to do with Rome?
Well, we're connected. The Priests of the Sacred Heart have a network. We're spread again through about 40 different countries, and we have about 50 different schools throughout the world. Did you get a chance to meet some of the Germans when they came?
Yeah.
And we have schools in many different places. And one of my jobs in Rome was to work with our education system and try to get schools to find ways to collaborate with each other and share some of their ideas for best practices.
One question that's probably on your mind and my mind is American pizza or Italian pizza. Which one's better?
Yes.
You want to know?
The Italian, the bread part is way better in Italy. Way better. Their farina, they make it slowly and take their time. In America, we put a lot more stuff on the pizza. It's a lot thicker. The Italians, it tends to be more thin.
Totally different. Yeah.
But they're both good. And it depends. Even like the pizza in Napoli, Neapolitan pizza is different.
Okay.
So it's more like New York pizza where you fold it.
Okay. So, Father Steve, what brings you back to us today here at St. Joe's, and what lies ahead for you?
I finished my work in Rome in July. We have a 2-term limit, so I knew I was going to be finished. And I'm on sabbatical right now. So it's my very first sabbatical. I'm excited about it. On sabbatical, you get to take some time to do things that are going to refresh and nurture you.
Yeah.
And so one of the things for sure for me was to come back to South Dakota. I spent some time up on Cheyenne River where I first worked. Back to Lower Brule and Fort Thompson where I was pastor before I came here. And then it's just great to be back on campus and see people and students and alumni. What lies next for me is next July I'll become the rector of the seminary in Hales Corner, Sacred Heart Seminary and School of Theology. And so I have this time to prepare myself. So I have a lot of things I want to read and study, but I'm going to do some light pastoral work, and I'm going to visit the different SCJ houses in different parts of the country and get reconnected with the guys and understand the American church a little bit better since I've been gone for 9 years. So we're just looking forward to this year and a chance to visit a lot of people, a lot of family and relatives and friends that I haven't got to see so much lately.
Yeah. And a chance to be on Hochoka, which is great, right?
One of the top things on my list.
That's right. Yeah, Father had said that he's watched every episode, and I said, you're the one. So it's great. It's great to have you as a viewer, and it's great to have you in the studio today too. And I just want to say, we have to thank this gal over here because Randy has killed it for us today. You've done a great job. You made the Kuichash Nation proud, and you made St. Joe's Indian School proud for sure. And you'll be graduating 8th grade here in May, right, of 2025. Don't know what the road holds for you, but we wish you the best. And wherever you go, you've got a lot of talent, and I'm curious to see where this is going to take you.
Father Steve, thank you again for joining us here at the Hochoka at the Center of St. Joe's Indian School campus, where we talk about issues central to Native American education today.
You're welcome.
Until next time, stay centered.